Fall in the South African garden here in New York. We have the Disodies in bloom. I think it's canescens. I'll probably take cuttings just before frost comes so I can get some more seed on it. And we have Hesperantha coccinea, the river lily, in shades of red, salmon. I had a white one somewhere, but he's gone. And then we have behind that the spectacular Kniphofia multiflora raising up its spikes. They're covered with bees, which are busy trying to pollinate them, although I think the second clone is just not quite blooming. This is the first clone. The second clone is the one in front, and it's slightly behind the other one. They'll need to cross to get seeds. We may get frost this week, we may not. If we don't, we'll probably be good for another 2 to 3 weeks. We'll come close though, come Halloween or October 31st. And there's some other colors to be seen in this garden. If we look over here, I'll pan around here, there's a Senecio species in flower, one of the many yellow Senecios from South Africa, another Hesperantha coccinea, and we have here Anisodontea julii. The root will survive if mulched, and you get flowers that come fairly late, but they're really pretty. And this is past the time Japanese beetles could bother them. And an interesting thing here, I have one of those reflowering agapanthus that I got sent to me from Quentin in South Africa, who breeds them, and he managed to get some sent to me from the US growers. And this guy actually is sending up a bloom spike. It bloomed profusely. They all bloom profusely, the ones that I had, the series of them. But this is the first one to actually throw a new spike. These plants have survived one winter with heavy mulch. They're not bred for hardiness, but with the mulch they are hardy here in New York. And this one actually is throwing a new spike. So it's the first time I've ever seen an agapanthus actually attempt to rebloom. Of course, he's running a little late, but I think he'll make it just in time before it gets too cold. So that's pretty cool. And we have a lot of things that are, dying back, but we can see the silver leaves of the Helichrysum splendidums. We have a spectacular Americrinum, I think it is. No, I'm sorry. It's a Nerine and Belladonna lily cross, I think. I do mulch it, but it's been flowering for a long time with these spectacular flowers. Pity, I think it's a sterile plant. At least I don't see any seeds forming on it yet, because it really is a spectacular thing. And we have some species things here. This is one of the salvias. I think it's Scabra. It's one of the South African ones, and I got it from Gelito Seeds in Germany, of all places. And it's really nice. I'd have to double check the name though to be sure. There's Nemesia floribunda here, and Melissofolia, and they may be mixing. This looks like a Melissofolia here. And I see a lone Felicia here, one of the Felicia muricata daisies. We've got this red grass blooming. It's not hardy, but it will seed around and come back. A late Kniphofia triangularis here coming into bloom. It's a little miserable spike compared to what it can do earlier in the year with beautiful orange flowers. Again, the Senecio really starts showing its color now. It does get a little rambunctious, so I do have to weed it out periodically. But its value is flowering now, flowering in abundance now, when a lot of things are going down. This is a yellow Phagelius. We still have a few flowers on it, and it loved the rainy weather this summer. It was a very rainy summer, much more so than normal, which not all plants like, but it did. We see the rugose leaves of this wonderful Helichrysum from South Africa. It was a species I saw in Dostrom and bought seed back of, and it is done very well. I put a little mulch on it. I don't know, it may or may not need it, but I protect it anyway. And I see it made a couple of little babies from seed down there under the leaf. So it's really great for texture and has flat yarrow-like flower heads. There's some Gerbera hybrids of my own there. They're turning purple with the cold. They will get mulched, and then they'll throw out a lot of flowers in spring. They're crosses with Ambigua and Jamesonii and hybrids thereof. There's a late bloom there. It doesn't look too great on one of the crosses I've made. We see a silver geranium species back here. They tend to flower, seed, then die here after they flower. I don't know if they don't like the heat or whatever. And a little plant I overwintered and as cuttings and bought in this, I think they call it bitterbos in South Africa. It's a bitterbush, and it's genus. It's not Cotula, but something like Cotula. Little yellow flowers. I probably will take some cuttings before it has to go before we get really severe frost. It would take severe frost to take it down. It can sometimes make it through a mild winter. And with the strong El Nino, we probably will have a mild winter, most likely. That's a shrub, Diospyros lysoides, I think it is. Got it from Silver Hill, and it's grown. It dies to the ground every year and comes right back up again. So I don't get to enjoy the flowers and little fruits or seeds or whatever it makes, but it's kind of a curiosity here. I've yet to find a winter hardy, stem hardy South African woody plant here. The best bet probably would be the Oldwood or Ohut, which I once had growing in a garden at school, but I lost it and I haven't replaced it since. But that is probably about as tough as woody plants in South Africa get. There is a Gerbera there in bloom. Looks like it's a Jamesonii straight species or something close to it. Here are my original Jamesonii. These plants have been here for over 5 years, maybe more. They get a nice thick mulch on them. They're by the wall here, and the mulch has served them well. Even when we had voles running around here last winter when I put some plastic down too, they got under the plastic. I learned my lesson about that, but they didn't bother the Gerbera, nor did they bother this little Opuntia hybrid here too. And we can see Opuntia is there dropping red fruits, which I really need to pick up. And over here, more Salvia muricata. Sometimes they make it through the winter, sometimes they don't, but they will seed around, and you'll get more. A Gazani here, Tanager, which is a cold hardy selection of an orange one from South Africa. I got a few blooms, but not as many as I would like, because again, they didn't like the rainy, cloudy, humid, muggy summer. They like the cool weather, so they're getting ready to bloom now, actually. They'll take a little frost, maybe a lot of frost. I think in Colorado they're hardy. But I can also take stem cuttings and root them easily if I wish. And behind it is a cholla, which is most certainly not a South African plant. That's grown from seed from our American Southwest. Vicious little thing, well, not a little thing actually, but hardy as all get out, and now flowering. And we have some nice nerines here. I'll make a separate video on those because they're so pretty. And we have wormwood here, the Artemisia afra, and it's actually making its little green flowers right there. It will sometimes seed around here. Easy to plant, hardy, does not need any special care or fussing. Just cut back sometimes because it gets kind of rangy and big. Over here we have a late blooming Cleome hirta. These self-sow actually and come up, and they're really pretty. They have little like yellow markings in the flower. Let me see if I can get it there. I have my gloves on because I've been weeding. The yellow markings aren't as showy as they usually are in warmer weather, but it comes up every year reliably from seed. There's Asparagus stellatus, grew there from Silver Hill seed. Probably the hardiest of them all. Sometimes some of it stays green even through the winter. I put a mulch around it, but not over it, to keep the roots from freezing. And same thing for this asparagus over here. I did figure out what you were, now I can't remember your name, but you're a fluffy one. And this one dies back completely to the base and shoots up again in spring. It does, of course, benefit from a cover. And over here, as we walk around again, we see more of the Senecio, one of very many species you'll find in the high veld and all over South Africa, actually. And here's the red Phagelius. This was a collection Panayotti made, and it's grown into a massive plant. And it's really come along very nice. And we have some beautiful bluebells in bloom. This is a gracile form of Wallenbergia undulata, I believe. I've had it for many years. I got it from Silver Hill. I lost a lot of my big Wallenbergias with the wide flowers, the undulatas with the wide flowers and bigger, more robust growth. But I have loads of seeds, so I'll start more for next year. I had them in other parts of the garden, and I don't know if something got them or, voles or whatnot. But yeah, we'll just pan around back to the bee-covered Kniphoffias. And yeah, a beautiful fall day here in the South African garden as it gets ready for its long sleep.